Okay, we are in lesson 2, part 2, and I'm going to just talk about some questions that and go over some things. You are to write a paragraph to describe Jonas's community based on your reading in chapter 1. And when it says to cite, it just means to include. Cite is a word you're going to see over and over again. C-I-T-E. Don't be afraid of that word. It's very necessary that you understand that word. You're going to see it, and it's very important that you understand. You have to use evidence from the text. You're just going to include it with your supporting details. So you're going to make a blanket statement at the beginning, which is like a main idea, and then you're going to explain it with details, and evidence will support your details. So Jonas's community seems to be a strict place to live. Okay. And then you can give an example with details. Jonas has a flashback, a memory of a year ago when Jonas and others saw something Jonas referred to. This was a summary. I'm sorry. Jonas has a flashback, a memory of a year ago when Jonas and others saw something Jonas referred to as unusual in his community, and they were confused. It's against the rules for pilots to fly over the community. They stopped and waited for direction on what to do, because it's like, let me just keep reading. It's like they were afraid to think for themselves when they saw the plane zoom by over their head. A voice ordered them to go to the nearest building, and everyone complied. Before long, it was revealed that a pilot in training simply made a mistake. The speaker announced with an amusing tone that the pilot would have to be released as a result. That seemed pretty severe. Jonas said he was careful about language. Through his thoughts, he introduced memories of his friend Asher, who made mistakes with his language. Asher had used the word distraught when he meant to say distracted, and he was corrected by the instructor at the learning community when he arrived late for school one morning. So that's my personal summary of what took place, and my evidence. I just included what happened in the text. So don't be afraid to say what happened. Number 4, you were told to reread the following lines from the text and what do they reveal about the community. And it says, they had heard Father complain about the night crew before. It was a lesser job, night crew nurturing, assigned to those who lacked the interest or skills for more vital jobs of the daytime hours. Most of the people on the night crew had not even been given spouses because they lacked somehow the essential capacity to connect to others, which was required for the creation of a family unit. So what do they reveal about the community? What do these lines reveal? Well, jobs were assigned. It appears that jobs were assigned based on your interest, because it said it was a lesser job, night crew nurturing, assigned to those who lacked the interest or the skills or the insight for more vital jobs of the daytime hours. So evidently they looked at so many different factors, whoever these decision makers were, but jobs were assigned. The decision to be married was made by the community as well. And if they didn't think you were worthy or fit, intellectually fit to be married, or emotionally fit, then you weren't. It was based on their belief if one had the essential capacity to connect to others. Without a family unit, one could not raise children. Now, this is a question, or this is that you need to understand. Are there single parents in this community? No. Okay. Number 5, how does mother respond to Lily's question about keeping the baby? What does this reveal about the community? So what happened? Father is a nurturer. He expresses that he is worried about a new born who's not growing and sleeping well, and he may bring that child home at night, hoping that child may sleep better in their home. Obviously, this would be a temporary circumstance, because on page 10, if we can take some time and go there, and we have to do this. Lily, you know the rules. Top of page 11. 2 children, 1 male, 1 female, to each family unit. It was written very clearly in the rules. So many times it's like in the rules. You didn't want to break a rule. It was against the rule. So it's very clear that this community takes their rules. They value rules and abiding by the rules. So that's what it reveals. Keeping order, strict, very strict. But also, if there are 2 children in a family, is there any family in this community where a boy has a brother or a girl has a sister? I wonder why not. Number 6, what does mother fear? What does this reveal about the community? Well, when she talks, it says that she had a prominent position. If you have a prominent, if anything is prominent, it's up front. If you have a prominent position, it's noticed It's usually prestigious or it's noticed. It's a positive usually. It's a positive. But she worked for the Department of Justice. And what does she fear? She fears that the man brought before her today will break another rule, and at that point will be released. Do you have an idea of what released could mean? She saw this man today who she had already dealt with. He had been adequately punished, restored to his job, his family unit, and yet he broke another rule. This reveals that the community has a 3 strikes and you're out policy. It makes me wonder what rule the man broke. And I realize the community highly values law and order, but are there levels of rules? Earlier when we were reading, and Jonas remembers the story of Asher, who's a young woman at the time, and he continues to come late to school, so he gets away with that. He has to do the everyday make the apology, but somehow that doesn't change his behavior. So, but we know they're very strict on what their standards are and what they're going to tolerate. They don't tolerate being outside of what their expectations are. But it makes you wonder what law did this man break? And is he going to be banished? If he's released, is he sent away? Released from the community? What does released mean? Makes me wonder. Write a paragraph answering the following question. How is Jonas's community and its values both similar and different from your community? And cite at least 2 pieces of evidence from the text. Jonas's community is similar to my community in that both value safety and order for their citizens. Within the United States, there are various rules and regulations that people must follow in order to ensure their safety and the safety of others. For example, individuals are not able to drive without a license, and that license can be suspended or revoked if a person has multiple speeding tickets or moving violations like driving while impaired. Similarly, Jonas's community values rules and order, which can be seen in the way that systems are in place to ensure that citizens know how they should behave and what to expect if they do not behave according to society's rules. Someone who commits multiple transgressions are released from the community, likely because they cause disruption to the order of the community. One way that Jonas's community differs is that it appears to value order and equality over personal choice and freedom. And we just finished chapter 1, and that already is a theme. And there's more than one theme. But it appears so far that they're more concerned about order and everyone being equal than personal choice and freedom. For example, In Jonas's society, spouses and children are assigned to family units rather than allowing people to choose a partner and make decisions about how many children they want to have. In our community, this would be unheard of, as we are guaranteed personal freedoms to choose our relationships and our careers. So I'm going to stop it, and we will start with, let me go, I'm sorry, real quick. That was questions for 2. Let me just make sure before I do. An exit ticket, I think I just went over that. The exit. But just put it in your own words as best as you can. How is Jonas's community and its values both similar and different from your community? And I understand that you're going to write it in your own way. Just put it in your own words. And we're going to be noticing more and more things as we go. But if you want to just focus on his community first and say, in Jonas' community, it's this, this, and this, and write about 3 different things. In my community, it's this, this, and this. You know, we both we have this in common, but then, Jonas's community is this way. You don't have to say, but we don't. If you just list what Jonas's community does different, that'll stand by itself. That'll make sense. Okay. If I will put my answer key up there for you to look at as a guide, but think about it yourself and try to put it in your own words, and I will see you soon.